Welcome to Weekends with Whitney. Coming up on today's show, just in time for the holidays, a Christmas movie made in South Louisiana. We sit down with the cast to see how art imitates life in ways no one saw coming.
There are twists and turns in it that I have lived through that I couldn't possibly have come up with because I didn't know they were out there.
Wow.
Yeah, I didn't know.
You can watch a drama all you want, but this is so real.
It's a semi-autobiographical film about how life's biggest problems can become our biggest victories.
1, 2, 3.
Then DR.NICK shows us how to expel our anxiety by getting back inside our body.
I don't know that there's really anything more simple than breathing. I also think, though, because it is so simple and because it is so, in many ways, easy, we really don't give it the credit it's due.
Welcome to the lifestyles of the broken famous.
Hey, would you mind signing this for my grandpa? He loved Doogie Howser.
Dukes of Hazzard.
John Schneider's had his share of hazards the last 5 years.
Life throws curveballs.
Flooding devastated his movie studio and home not once, but twice within 5 months.
Lord, how do you stop the water when it's there to steal your past?
He suffered through an ugly divorce, an excruciating ex-wife that landed him in jail for $150,000 in alimony.
Ain't going down early or easy. I'm hitting it hard until daylight. No, I ain't going down early or easy. When I wake up, I won't remember tonight. Eat my dust.
Reruns of his hit show Dukes of Hazzard were ripped off the air over outrage of the rebel flag painted atop the General Lee.
Ever meaning?
And in January, he lost his home and 54-acre studio in a foreclosure auction. In his new movie, Christmas Cars, art imitates life.
Hang on, General.
Now, for the record, don't try this at home.
Not bad for an old guy.
There was no way the writer in me couldn't take all of this experience that's been going on, good and bad. I couldn't not put it into a script. Christmas Cars is a movie about a guy who has a camp where he teaches acting because he used to be on a television show 40 years ago that had a car in it. And he has a balloon payment on his mortgage due. And he goes through a sheriff's sale. And the way that he winds up trying to save his place is by selling die-cast cars of the car he drove on the television show.
Everybody that I guarantee that they will get their Christmas cars by Christmas.
In real life, John hasn't sold die-cast cars, but soon he will. In the movie, however, those cars backfire.
There's a public uproar because someone, you have to have conflict.
Yes.
Someone in the movie doesn't want said person to continue owning said property. So they put out in the universe that the flag on top of the car is a sign of hatred. So all of the pre-orders in the movie get turned back. So now we have the problem of flag or no flag on top of the car. And I'm not going to tell you how we work that out.
Okay.
But that's part of the movie too. Yes. Yanked from the front page.
Car from Uncle Denver's show is now considered the universal sign of intolerance and racism.
Symbols don't hurt people. People hurt people. I didn't see that coming.
John's character is named Uncle Denver, a salute to a real-life cast member of the Dukes of Hazzard and the show's 40th anniversary.
You know good and well that this family don't hold with no gambling.
Oh, now, Jesse, we've been making moonshine for over 200 years now. Well, why is gambling different?
Because making whiskey was a family tradition long before there was a US of A federal government to tell us that we couldn't.
In the movie, it's the 40th anniversary year of the television show that I used to do. And I'm calling myself, because I love Denver Pyle, who played my Uncle Jesse so much, calling myself in this movie Uncle Denver.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Playing alongside him are accomplished actresses Lorelei Linkletter and Mindy Robinson. Mindy plays his girlfriend.
I just love the content. I like the way John writes, and it's so real to him. Almost losing this beautiful, beautiful place. And seeing how much it means to him and just all that stuff. And the Dukes of Hazzard fans, like he's incorporated everything wonderful in his life. Even if it's bad, it's obviously a happy story. I won't say how it ends. I won't ruin it for everyone. But it's just so passionate. Like, I love it.
Lorelei plays one of Uncle Denver's high school students.
It's going to be a great movie. My role it's fun. I like it because it harkens back to a time, a simpler time, in my life and everyone's life, really.
The actresses' onset into acting are as different as the characters they play. Lorelei's been in movies since she was 6, best known for her standout role as Samantha in Boyhood.
Well, Waking Life was cool, but the animation was cool, but well, it was kind of boring for me. Not to insult you, Daddy.
Her famous father, Richard Linkletter, wrote, produced, and directed the film, which was nominated for 3 Academy Awards.
I absolutely loved it. I've wanted to be an actress ever since I was very, very little.
20 movies later, she's still typecast.
I've changed a lot since that movie shot.
Sure.
And I want to make a niche for myself in acting that's different from my child persona.
She's acted alongside some of Hollywood's best. Ethan Hawke is one who especially inspires her.
From the Lamb! Let's hear it for the Father! Woo!
He's just so absolutely dedicated to acting, and his mentality towards it is just really beautiful. He's got a lot of wisdom on the subject.
After years of rebuffing acting classes, she's embracing it.
In the past, I was very headstrong. I took one and said, no, my experience is my class, is my learning. But only recently have I started taking acting classes, because I'm like, okay, maybe I should just, start taking this really seriously if this is going to be my career.
Carrie's back home too. We just hung out, Peach Smirnoffs, they just go down so easy.
No, hey, that's not an excuse.
I feel like I have so much to learn, so much room to grow. It's infinite with acting.
Although she's been acting 20 years, it's painting that she feels proficient at.
It's the one thing that I feel very confident in with acting. I feel like I absolutely adore it. I feel like I have a lot to learn. With painting, that's just kind of been what I've always been able to do.
In college, she majored in art and works as a professional artist when she's not working a movie. These are some of her landscapes.
So I like to kind of explore perspective and really just trying to capture the light, I guess.
Oh,
to put it simply, light, artificial light, real light. concepts of isolation, desolation, just places. My dad is a realist filmmaker, and I strive to paint realism.
She has a surreal side too, mixing classical styles, sometimes with the bizarre, as in this self-portrait. She's acutely self-aware, but surprisingly self-conscious.
I see my acting go from just pure excitement and charisma to being a lot more self-conscious. And in my acting today, I strive to get back to the place where I was kind of like, this is me, I like me, and you should too.
She's trying to rediscover her inner child.
By letting go, by trying not to care what people think quite so much, by truly believing in myself, by loving what I do.
That's never been an issue for Mindy, who only started acting at 31.
It's so much fun. I love the industry. It is really cool if you've got the right, mindset for it.
Yeah.
It can destroy people too. If you're insecure, this is not for you. Because you're going to be told you were fat and skinny in the same day. I still don't get that.
Acting for Mindy came accidentally.
I had a friend like, oh, there's this movie set if you want to see how movies are made. I'm like, that sounds cool. So I showed up and they're like, hey, do you want to be a background extra? I'm like, yeah, like it's the coolest thing ever. And then they had to fire someone, and I guess they kind of looked like me, so they were like, you. I'm like, what? And they literally just hired me like that. Like, that's not supposed to, that's like every background actor's dream. Like my first day, like, all this kind of stuff.
Oh my gosh, and a speaking role.
Yes, with like several scenes in a movie with a named actor.
She's never even taken an acting class.
What I did instead, and this is good advice for anyone, is I did background work on big shows and movies because I figured I was going to get paid instead of paying someone to watch A-list successful actors, see how they prepared, learn about the movie set, and most of the time I was given roles with lines. So I can't complain about that. And people would look down on it like, it's the menial fast food restaurant of jobs in the industry, but I'm like, I made the best of it. I had fun. And most of the time I lucked out seriously. Like I've lucked out in ways that were stupid.
The best thing she learned from the A-listers is what not to do.
I've seen named people not know their lines and hold up production. And I'm like, I don't ever want to be in those shoes. No. I swear they will teach you what not to do.
Mindy says acting isn't as glamorous as it looks.
I think people get in the business for the wrong reasons. They think someone's going to feed you grapes and fan you and you're going to make $1 million. I haven't come close to that yet. And it's not. It's a job. It is a job. It is probably a 13-hour or more day job. Yeah. It's dieting. There's all kinds of crazy things, prosthetics. You're uncomfortable. You're pretending it's summer when it's winter. You're pretending it's winter when it's summer. It's going to be a sweaty Christmas in this movie.
Merry Christmas, Evelyn.
Merry Christmas, Denver.
But in the movie, as in life, you won't see John sweating it.
I believe truly, absolutely, that when you are confronted with a huge problem, it means there is a huge victory on the other side of it.
Like the upswing of his ugly divorce. He married his soulmate and longtime girlfriend, Alicia.
I could feel a change on the day that I met you. The sky was painted the most perfect blue. From the moment I first fell into your eyes, I knew the sun would rise and set with you.
I pity anyone who tries to get in Alicia and my way, because we call ourselves the team to beat. We're taking a risk. We're doing something that Alicia and I have lived through, and we are turning it into something potentially very, very good. So there are twists and turns in it that I have lived through that I couldn't possibly have come up with because I didn't know they were out there. It makes you strong. Success is guarded by problems. Great success is guarded by great problems. Failure is a choice. It's a choice that you make when you quit. I don't quit. I am the Terminator. I make the Energizer Bunny look tired.
Together, they created Christmas cars, transforming adversities into art. But first, life's pitfalls can often leave us feeling hopeless. Yet, a new movie out later this week shares a bit of the true life story of a famous Louisiana resident and how, instead of giving up, he rose up.
You see, and I think that's part of the struggle. We're like, okay.
The movie goes on sale this Friday, the day after Thanksgiving, which of course is known as Black Friday. They're calling it Orange Friday. Nonetheless, they're taking pre-orders though now for a physical copy of the DVD, and they're even offering autographed copies. However, if you would like to stream it online, you can go to Cineflix. You can access that at johnschneiderstudios.com. And still ahead, Dr. Nick shows us how to lower our anxiety with every breath we take as Weekends with Whitney continues.
Out of the chaos. Each morning in Baton Rouge, we rise to meet opportunity. We carry the weight of responsibility proudly. We choose our paths. We move fast and we fly high. We light the way for others to follow. We make it happen. But what really matters is what happens when we land at home. Baton Rouge Metropolitan Airport. Fly easy.
Louisiana's Old State Capitol educates the public on Louisiana's rich history and the democratic process through exhibits, programming, and the arts. The museum is dedicated to advancing the collection and preserving this national historic landmark. Visit LouisianaOldStateCapitol.org.
We're going to get anxious in our lives, but did you know that you can help rid yourself of anxiety with every breath you take? Dr. Nick joins us with more. I love the simplicity of that.
I was just thinking one of the 12-step lines is keep it simple. And I don't know that there's really anything more simple than breathing. And I also think, though, because it is so simple and because it is so, in many ways, easy, we really don't give it the credit it's due.
And that's interesting to think about, because I know I don't.
We don't.
It's so automatic. We don't think about it.
We almost roll our eyes at it when I say to someone, "Okay, are you breathing? Or how's your breathing?" And one of the things that to me makes it so important to always consider powerful is that, let's say someone's having a panic attack, okay? That's the body. They feel I'm having a heart attack, okay?
Right.
What does that tell you? Get back in the body. Breathing gets us back in the body. But what we do is we breathe, and I know I do. We live in a very complex, fast society. So we're always moving and we don't stop and consciously breathe. Slowly. It's that inhale for as long as you want to do it and exhale even longer. And it's focusing not so much on the anxiety at all, but on the breathing.
Which can get you out of your head.
Yes, and into the body.
I see.
I mean, think about it. When one dies, they don't have breath. So let's breathe. We know we're alive when we're breathing.
That's right. Just breathe deeper to get more alive.
but don't you think we have to do it consciously? And I think that's part of the struggle. We're like, okay, I'll breathe. I'm like, no, you really need to make it, especially if there's anxiety promoting or some kind of trauma setback or flashback. The breathing is important. And one of the things that we can do is use words like in. We can think of in and then out. But and make them as long as you want to or that you can. I think the exhaling is even more powerful because you can just feel it just coming out of you.
You're right.
And just let it go for long, long times. Whitney, it's, you know, again, it's like, oh, that's okay. Well, that's going to stop my anxiety. Yes.
Or at least it's going to help.
Of course it's going to help.
Right.
Of course it's going to help the anxiety.
It's interesting because on my Apple Watch, I have this activity app, okay? And so it does different things. Movement, it tells you how many minutes you've exercised, and then it'll tell you like time to stand up if you've been sitting too long. But the other one, and it kind of surprised me that of the big three, here we are, is breathe.
Breathing.
And so it'll remind me, it'll be like, stop for a minute, do deep breathing. And I'm sorry, until today I was kind of like, yeah, never done it. But I will now.
No.
It's that important, huh?
It is. And I think where it becomes most important is at night, when we're shutting down the day. It's kind of, I sit out on my rocker, which is itself relaxing, especially with the weather as it is right now.
Yes.
And I'm just breathing. But it pulls you back into your body. We leave our bodies when we get anxious and concerned about something. We're pulled into the environment when what we want to do is stay here. This is where the power center is to control life. Here. Yeah. This is the power center, right?
Yeah.
I mean, whatever happens, I can have some control, and the control is almost letting go of it by just simply breathing. But it must be deep.
Deep, okay.
It must be deep. You just can't. I mean, haven't you ever seen people in a panic? I have. I've been there.
Right.
I've been, and what we're trying to do is calm that person down with breathing.
Yeah. And look, sometimes I've been insulted before when I'm having a conversation or maybe an argument with someone, a lively discussion, and they go, take a deep breath. And I'm kind of like, But you know, truly, that's probably when I should take a deep breath.
No, you're right where I am. It's like we dismiss it. We dismiss it. And I understand why, because it feels like we're dismissing the person's anxiety.
Yeah.
Relax, calm down, take a deep breath.
Chill out.
We're not trying to dismiss the anxiety, the person.
Right.
We're trying to dismiss the anxiety. And you're right, it feels almost insulting.
Right.
Like, no, I'm really in a bad place. I know you are.
Yeah,
I know you are. That's why we're doing something that doesn't really cost. We have this notion that we got to pay for everything. You don't have to pay for breathing.
You don't have to go to the
free.
Pharmacy to get it.
It's free. It's not a pill.
Yeah.
It's just slowing down. And who's more responsible for my body than me? I can't control the outside circumstances, but I can have some control over my body. And that, not to say that there aren't other ways of calming down.
Oh,
Whitney,
sure. Some people love yoga, meditation.
My dad would walk every day for 30
Absolutely.
minutes. Thank God.
Yeah.
And but I still think we just don't want to, again, overlook or minimize the power of breath. Of that just deep, and before you know it, you're almost in a meditative state.
True.
You're almost in a meditative state.
I think you have to do that to get there, so you're right.
Then if we do it enough, it can almost become unconscious. Unconscious meaning that it's the default.
Yeah.
So I don't have to tell myself to breathe. I just start, okay.
Deep breathing.
I'm just, you're aware of it.
Yeah.
It's a powerful source of calming and anxiety reduction. It really is. I wish people, I've said this, wouldn't it be great if people would get together in groups and just breathe? Say nothing. Just breathe. But do it in a group. I mean, and then afterwards, like, what happened? What happened to you? Where did you go? What? You know?
Yeah. Could you
maybe
really
the music could help.
your mind?
Maybe the music could help.
Always,
I think there's some calm apps now you can get.
Oh my gosh.
That can help take you down. All this adds in, but I just don't want us to lose the focus. The focus is on the breath.
The breath. Thank you for that.
Deep breathing. Deep breathing.
Thank you for putting an exclamation point on the end of breath today for all of us.
Yes.
We will go into the week ahead.
And then just
much more calm.
So
let it out.
Let it out.
Thanks, Dr. Nick. More Weekends with Whitney after this. Atlas Foundation Repair, fixing your foundation problems for more than 30 years while preserving and protecting your trees.
Each morning in Baton Rouge, we rise to meet opportunity. We carry the weight of responsibility proudly. We choose our paths. We move fast and we fly high. We light the way for others to follow. We make it happen. But what really matters is what happens when we land at home. Baton Rouge Metropolitan Airport. Fly easy.
Thanks for sharing your time with us here on Weekends with Whitney. We hope to see you back here again next week. But until then, we leave you with this.
Just a little bit more than the law will allow.
I wonder if it feels like a long time to her or a short time. There's a lot of dialogue happening.
3, 2, 1, and go!
Push her!
Oh yeah, nobody's going. I'll go get it.